The Robins get weapons, Doom to see Superman, and a little bit of black magic.
This week,
on Top of the Stack. Welcome to Top of the Stack, our weekly comic review segment where we bring you our top 3 picks, as well as some honorable mentions sometimes. And this week, we do have a couple from DC, Image, and Marvel. So let's just kick it off this week with We Are Robin number 5 by Lee Bermejo and art by George Corona.
So much stuff happening in this issue. We start out, we get a clue as to what the whole underground rising is about and who's behind that. Then I liked this issue because we get a lot of backstory about who some of the Robins are. There's a couple that we learn about their lives kind of outside of being Robins. Mm-hmm. So that's...
Oh, you're talking about the gang members? Mm-hmm. And stuff? Yeah.
And then we also learn that one's a mob kid. So that's interesting. And that goes on for a large majority of the comic. But we have this little segment towards the end where all the Robins come together and they discuss whether or not they still want to be doing this. And some cool stuff happens. Truck comes in full of weapons just for the Robins. And I'm not going to go into who's behind that, but you get to see... It's somebody you've seen before.
Yeah, but we don't know. Still don't know who they are.
But it's still a familiar face to us, the reader. So
right when they're all about to quit, they get this little bonus incentive to continue.
To continue, exactly. But a big something happens at the end that has to do with the very beginning and the uprising of the homeless people. So that was, I'm not going to go into too much detail about this, but it's kind of here, there, and everywhere, this one.
Yeah.
A little bit of everything in this one. I like it. I gave it a Michael Keaton. How did you feel about it?
I felt the same way. There was a lot of new character work, a lot of, building off of, the guy who died and thinking about him, and then the ending. But at the same time, I wasn't really there. Wasn't like the other ones.
Yeah, I get that vibe, but I did like the whole backstories.
Yeah,
you're kind of learning more depth into, so we actually care about the characters maybe a little bit more.
Yeah. I give it a Michael Keaton as well. So We Are Robin number 5 is getting a Michael Keaton from Geek'd.
All right. So what did you read this week?
I went with Doom number 5 by Scott Lobdell, Javier Fernandez, and Ulysses Areola. This one, as we know from the last one, Superman enters, tries to save the day. We get some backstory with, actually the backstory is now caught up with our hero Risers, or I don't know, he's kind of a bad guy.
I know, yeah.
So anyway, his roommate Roman finally becomes this Alpha Centaurian. And we get to see that. They have an epic battle, which Superman saves the day as he always does, but it's really just a story about what we've been waiting to see, is these two friends who both have issues that none of them are talking to each other about. They wish they were talking to each other about it, but they're not, kind of like we do in our day-to-day lives. And it finally reaches a boiling point, and we get to see them unleash everything.
Right.
And possibly come together for a bigger, badder cause.
Yeah, the ending was quite... What?
And this one is wrapping up, too, because it's being canceled, so
That's right.
It's kind of disappointing.
I was reading it, and I was like, was this the one he said was being canceled?
Yeah.
What?
So I really liked it. I liked the art, as always.
Yeah.
And I liked the ending. What did you think about it?
I agree with everything you said. I liked the whole boys' issues finally coming and being part of the comic. Yeah, not really much to say, honestly.
Okay. What are you going to give it?
I give it a Michael Keaton.
I am giving it a Michael Keaton as well. it's a Michael Keaton kind of day right now.
It is. It is.
But it was a good issue. It's just, I think some of the oomph is being taken away because I know it's ending. So I'm not getting too invested in it. I'm trying to just figure out what they're going to do in a couple issues to make this thing worthwhile, because you're just finding out about this guy.
Yeah, and especially with like the ending in this one, it's like, how are they going to continue with that in the short amount of time that they have to do it? So
all in all, good comic, good issue. It's getting a Michael Keaton. That is Doom number 5 by Scott Lobdell. It's getting a Michael Keaton from Geek'd Up. Which leaves us with Black Magick.
Yay!
With a CK, number 1, by Greg Rucka and Nicholas Scott. It's a grayscale comic too, which is interesting with little dabs of color. We do get to see, starting out, a big seance, like a witch circle.
Which was cool.
And a phone's ringing and ringing. It's almost kind of comical that she's like, is somebody's phone ringing?
I know. Whenever that happened, I was like, oh, this is kind of going to be a little bit silly.
I thought it was back in the day.
I thought
it was
so
like
too.
a flashback.
They were all naked.
Yeah.
Everybody was naked
wearing
these robes, but, you know.
See-through robes. If you don't
it's a fun time.
If you're not into boobies, don't read this one. But
or weenies.
Yeah. Were there weenies?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I spotted them.
Oh,
I was on the lookout.
She's got the eye for the weenies. But anyway, it's about a witch who is an officer.
She's a detective.
She gets called to a case in the middle of this thing, and they're like, you better hurry up.
Yes.
There's a guy with people hostage who's asking to talk to her.
And only her. Yeah,
she has to go in there. She has to derobe so he knows she's not wired or whatever, which she is. And then from there, it's just a psycho talking to a woman who is a witch. And he lets her know there's what I have to do to you. Yeah.
Is he a psycho? Or
no, I think he's possessed by something.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, is he crazy? Or is there like evil witches? Is she a good witch? Is she a bad witch? Because she didn't want to...
That's the real question.
Want to be mean to him.
Yeah.
You know?
And yeah. And he is going to try to wipe her out, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's the thing. Is this going to be a horror comic where it's about witches and evil, or is she a witch that is good? More like a Wiccan, I guess. Like, who just are about nature and Mother Nature.
Right,
and stuff
which
like
is kind of maybe the vibe that I got from this. But I did want to say, I liked the lettering in this a lot. I thought it felt... worked really good with the comic and the theme.
Which we don't touch on a lot, but it is very important. And it was really good in this. I liked the art. I thought the art was really good.
Yep.
I wasn't sure I was going to like the gray, but it ended up working for this.
I didn't even think twice about it, honestly.
Especially with the touch of color that you get every once in a while with the fire. And matter of fact, I think it was only fire that was colored. There was a candle, there was a lighter, and then there was fire. And
well, that's something
all of that was
orange
orange and yellow. But what are you giving this Black Magick number 1 from Image Comics and Greg Rucka?
I'm going to give it a Christian Bale.
We're on the same page this week.
Look at us.
I'm giving Black Magick number 1 by Greg Rucka and Nicholas Scott, a Christian Bale from Geek'd Up.
All right.
That leads us to our couple honorable mentions this week, which the first one up is the second issue of Star Wars Chewbacca, which we see he gets to help this girl that we talked so much about in a couple top of the stacks ago.
Yep.
The story's getting going. I thought the whole series is going to lead up to this, so now there's going to be something bigger. I thought it was going to end with he saves these people, but obviously second issue he's already there.
Right.
So that is an honorable mention from Marvel Comics. Also, Manifest Destiny number 18 by Chris Dingus and Matthew Roberts. This series has kind of gone stale for a little while, but this one really brought it home. Some really disturbing stuff happens at the end of this issue that makes you question humanity.
Your type of issue, huh?
Yeah, it was really good, and then the end was like, what is going on with these people? So check that one out if you haven't. But that is it this week for Top of the Stack. Let us know what you thought was the best picks of the week when it came to our reviews. Do you agree with them? Do you not? let us know in the comment below, and we will get back to each and every one of you, so get that conversation going. But you can also
find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Vine, all those lovely platforms. Get the conversation going there as well, and we will get back to each and every one of you.
But until then,
stay geeked up.
And always eat his Xenomorph.
Always.